I don't care that much about vindication or retribution. I'm just trying to get paid.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Hello friends, trace amounts of science. Thought we'd get back into some of them r/Neckbeard stories, Neckbeard stories. I'm not sure what it is. It's the Fatty Club. Sourface and Queenie coming back to the stage. Art Lad really turning into a beard of his own. There's 3 parts up. We'll see how many I can get through today. Might be all 3, but probably I'll find some things to say along the way. Much like I'm doing right now. Apologies for that, but not really. Thanks so much for being here. Let's get the show on the road. Tales of Community College, the one who has it bad. Part 7. Hello, ReddX. Brad, and the ReddX Industries. Bully Army. Bully Army actually does sound pretty fucking cool. I'm back to tell you part 7. I was gonna post this sooner, but I couldn't stop reading the hot dog man posts. Side note, Mr. God Emperor King Rod God, if you are reading this, if you're a troll, then you have played the game very well, sir. But if you're not messing around, I think it's time to food, my man. Brad is not gonna give you the phone call. He's busy making super aids. Also, those estrogen pills. Do you have some? I know a lot of trans girls who would love those. Also, I wanted to ask, do you have boobs now? Look on the bright side. If you do, you got some fun bags. Yeah, something to hold while you sleep. Wink, wink, smiley face. I thought I had problems when it comes to writing due to me being bilingual, but I feel seen when the hot dog man posts, because then I don't feel so alone. We all need, somebody to look down upon. He provides that in spades. It's just, it's wonderful. I tip my hat, not a fedora, to you, good sir. Also, sorry if I do make grammar mistakes. English wasn't spoken much when I was growing up, and I'm still learning. That was fine. We got all through that now. Sometimes something comes out weird, or I say it weird. It's different from how it's written, but we're making it a bit more polished, you see. At least, hopefully. Anyway, on to the actual post. This part will start right after I realized I was trans and slowly started to transition, but not before Sourface and Queenie had their downfall. Also, I did somewhat try to dress more boyish, and Goodfella and Sourface definitely noticed, but both will have different reasons. However, we'll get there when we get there. Goodfella also shows up more and more in this saga, and of course, more on that later as well. Presenting the cast for the drama storm, Dizzy, Sourface, Goodfella, Queenie. You know them! You loathe at least half of them. Let's get into it. Before we get into the more talky parts of the story, I wanted to simply explain the rest of the week after the meeting with Goodfella. In my journal, I wrote how I wasn't doing well mentally. At the time, I had untreated ADHD, but I was diagnosed at the end of high school. My family wasn't the most well-off, and any child of migrant parents will tell you that it is much harder to get well-paying jobs if you don't speak the language very well, or even not at all. My dad's job at the time was paying well, but it wasn't enough due to my older sister also needing higher education. My mom couldn't work due to her going blind. I thought I didn't need meds, even though I now realize that it would have helped me get through community college without all the unwanted stress. Yeah, and also, you never really felt like you were writing a research paper before that point. There's nothing quite like prescription amphetamines, is there? Since I live in the good old US of A, medication was simply too much money, however. And not only that, I was starting to develop an actual coffee addiction to the point where I wasn't even drinking plain water or eating proper meals, just straight black coffee. But it was a slippery slope to something stronger, I guess. I've learned that people with ADHD are at a higher risk of developing addictions due to their dopamine irregulation. Combine that with the stress of college and the bullshit Art Lad put me through, and yeah, it landed me in the hands of Goodfella. Goodfella really did hate both Queenie and Sourface. He didn't want to go into too much detail, but he kinda hinted that his home life wasn't the greatest in terms of siblings with Sourface. In the last post, he said he came out as androsexual, which is liking men or people who look manly, not androids.
You wouldn't like my body. It's all circuity and metallic.
And later on, he told me that it was in middle school when he came out. Sourface seemed to make it his mission to be downright cruel to him, or at least that's how Goodfella described it to me. But he's kind of had me in the dark about most of this stuff, and whenever it does come up, he tends to speak with a lot of venom, and I'm guessing a lot of internal pain as well. Goodfella did really seem to be the friend that I needed. Most of my high school friends left town, or straight up left state for college, and I only had Art Lad and Best Bro. Best Bro, however, was busy with Art Lad and the bullshit storm he'd created, so I was basically on my own to deal with the aftermath. Goodfella, again, felt like the shoulder that I needed, the friend who could help, just someone I could trust. After that blow-up with Queenie and her basically chasing me all over campus along with her yes men to convince me to rejoin the club so it doesn't shut down and me constantly going fuck off, yeah, I thought I'd made a friend without the help of anybody else. Goodfella was the one that noticed that I was sad, stressed, or simply not okay the moment that he saw me. Hell, he even noticed that I'd lost weight, even under the puffy sweaters. I wasn't losing weight because I wanted to. I was losing weight from not taking care of myself. There's one thing about dopamine, and that's that you can get a dopamine rush by activating a rush of adrenaline. And that's what starts this tale. I knew that me going through what Sourface had put me through last time was the worst thing I could do to myself, but that adrenaline was what I needed to get dopamine. I was basically self-harming, so I thought of a plan to help Goodfella and, in a way, get me out of this drama. I haven't seen both Sourface and Art Lad in a while, however. I knew Art Lad took a week off from coming to campus due to him feeling like crap. I knew about it because I heard it through the grapevine, aka Best Bro. This whole bullshit happened within 4 weeks. I started on this campus with the most stupid drama ever. I mean, in my opinion, it is. Sorry for the wall of text, I just needed to explain. I texted Goodfella with the following. Well, before we get into that, it sounds like you definitely have a lot of other stuff that needs to get sorted out. But I guess that's the problem with life. It doesn't slow down in order for you to sort the things out. Smashmouth had it right. The years keep coming and they don't stop coming.
Well, the years start coming and they don't stop 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 coming and they...
Anyway, what'd you say to Goodfella, OP? OP says, hey, Goodfella, I think I have a plan that both Queenie and Sourface will get exposed in. The one thing that we do need, though, is the evidence, Goodfella. How the hell am I supposed to get evidence? If they see me, they'll just stop what they're doing. OP, I think that's where I come into play. My question is, have you told Art Lad or anybody really about your home life? Goodfella. I've only told Art Lad about me not liking my brother, but not the whole money thing. Why? The only reason I told you is because I wanted you to help me and also help you get even. OP, I'm still not sure that you should be involved in this. I feel like it could backfire and you could also lose your uncle's funding. Goodfella. I got a job if that happens. Sure, it's nice, but that doesn't mean I should have to deal with him in order to get money. Plus, the money I do get is nowhere near as much as Queenie and Sourface's. I just get enough for books. Ah, there's the rub, is it? Or maybe it's just because Queenie and Sourface are lying about how much they need. That seems a little bit more likely. I think Goodfella, despite the name, is a good fella. And OP says, damn, dude. You basically said you're a black sheep in the family without actually saying it. So, what is it that actually makes your uncle go, oh, hell no, in terms of cutting them both off? Goodfella. My family didn't like the idea of Queenie and Sourface being close. They tried everything, and in their eyes they stopped it, but I caught them many times, and they always said that I'm nothing, and this, that, and the other thing, just because I'm queer. OP, I still think the whole money thing that you're telling me is a lie, and really you just want to help me ruin their reputation among your family. I mean, after a certain point, the reasons don't matter, do they? Is this what you want? Then it's time to grasp the nettle. Goodfella. Both those things can be true at the same time. Look, I know what I'm asking's a lot, and you're having a hard time with your pal Art Lad. If evidence is what you need, then so be it. I'm just asking for backup here. OP, what happens if they do get cut off? Goodfella, they don't return to campus. Duh. I don't know about Queenie, but sure as hell my parents aren't picking up Sourface's tuition fee. OP, yeah, I'm still on the fence about it. Goodfella, if it helps, just because they get cut off doesn't mean I'm getting anything out of it. My uncle made that very clear. Well, damn. What's even the point? I guess just to be vindictive, but I don't care that much about vindication or retribution. I'm just trying to get paid.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
And OP says, yeah, on one hand, I really shouldn't be any part of this, Goodfella. But on the other hand, OP, just talking to you about it, I feel, I don't know, I guess whole? I feel okay, or maybe it's just an excuse to talk to you. I don't really have that many friends, and the ones I do have put me into this crap pile. Goodfella. That bad, huh? I think I know how to start the downfall. Queenie's gonna be hard, but I know exactly how to bait Sourface. OP says, bait? What exactly do you mean by bait? Goodfella. Let me worry about that. I think what you should do is figure out if Sourface has a vendetta against Art Lad. I do love a good vendetta. Ruwenge. Omerta. OP says he doesn't even like Queenie. Like you said before, he's with her out of pity. Goodfella. It's an ego thing. Art Lad's a good-looking dude, and Sourface always goes on and on about how women don't like men like me, and to him, he's right because of Art Lad. OP, I saw Sourface being pissed off at Art Lad for not letting him in on Art Lad's fuckery regarding Queenie, like he wants to hurt Queenie. That's why I'm having a hard time believing that Sourface is doing it for her honor. Goodfella says he's not doing it for that. He's doing it because he wants to believe that his own cockfight is being more manly. Sourface he sort of has a weird view on women. OP says cockfight? Like he's trying to prove his manliness to Queenie? Goodfella, no, to himself. You know what that is, right? And OP says, I'm Mexican. We invented cockfights, but I don't understand the metaphor. I know there's no actual roosters. It's just sort of like a sword fight of the ego. Goodfella. Oh, yeah, exactly. So, I'll see you tomorrow to work out the details. OP says, yeah, sounds good. Till then, I'll see you soon. After that, I remember feeling off still. I still didn't believe the whole money bit, because if he really does have a rich uncle, couldn't you just pay for a 4-year university? To this day, I'm still on the fence regarding that. However, I do think that Goodfella really did want to hurt Sourface. With what little info he did say, reading in between the lines does kind of paint the picture of Sourface being the golden child. It's giving the vibe of the parents just wanting grandkids and thinking Goodfella being queer means not having any kids. I have so many stories about this family, but that's for a different tale. In my journal, I noted that it was on a Wednesday, where I met up with Goodfella at one of my college study rooms. OP, hey, I'm here. You ready to talk about, the details? Goodfella, hi, yeah, and I got some info that gives me really bad vibes. I mean, honestly, this whole business with the family gives me bad vibes. I don't want to be in this deep. I'm getting out. But OP says, bad vibes how? He told me to take a seat, if I remember correctly. I noted in my journal that in this study room, the air felt both heavy and filled with unfiltered vengeance. Goodfella takes a deep breath. Remember, I told you Sourface has a vendetta against Art Lad? OP, yeah. Goodfella, well, I overheard him and his pals, and he wants to fight Art Lad for cucking him. He believes Queenie's infatuation with Art Lad is Art Lad trying to be the bigger alpha male, even if Sourface was using Queenie for that. I spend a good few seconds trying to process all this. What the hell I had just heard. Really, all of this build-up for something That insignificant and stupid. OP, I'm sorry, you had me wait a whole day just to tell me something that could have been learned in an hour. Goodfella, you dumbass. I was getting confirmation that Sourface is still going at it with our cousin. Even if it could be learned within an hour, I still took the time to see if Queenie is still chasing her man. OP, what do you mean by chasing? Does she really call Artlad her man? Goodfella gives a devilish smile. I'm pretty sure Queenie's stalking Artlad even without him knowing. Yeah, she's got little pawns, eyes everywhere. OP, so I was right to tell her that she stalked us at the park. Goodfella, you found her in the park? OP, no, she confronted me the next day, smacked me across the face, called me a homewrecker. Goodfella, homewrecker? Damn, she's really deep in the sauce. OP sarcastically, gee, thanks for not making a joke at my expense. Goodfella, I wasn't joking. She's really losing her mind over a guy who has a track record of being horrible with relationships. OP, speaking of Artlad, I haven't spoken to him since that meetup. Goodfella, good. OP, good? How is that good? Goodfella, it means we can work on our plan. OP, you mean getting evidence. Goodfella, yeah, that's the plan. OP, can you just take pictures or show them Queenie's stalker tendencies? Goodfella, nah, that means she's moved on from Sourface, therefore not too much to worry about. OP says she's stalking someone. How is that not grounds for wrongdoing? Goodfella, if I tell you that my family has weird views on gender and believes that women are weak, would you think that she'd be punished? OP, I'm not sure, but I'm leaning towards no. Goodfella, exactly. But I have a plan that could cause a huge blowout. OP says, and this is? Goodfella, you flirting with Sourface. That's what he meant by bait. OP, hell no. Are you kidding me? Goodfella, I'm not asking you to go all the way, just flirting. OP says, look, I'd rather get my bung plugged up by Dick Cheney during a hunting event. Oh, come on, OP, it's just a little bit of birdshot. Nobody's gonna convict him, he's the vice president.
Sorry, I thought you were a deer.
I mean, really, he's 4 evil penguins in a suit, but as far as America's concerned, he's the vice president. And Goodfella says, ha ha, very funny. OP, why would I flirt with him if he's so invested in stopping Queenie's dating life? Goodfella, Queenie is the jealous type. You flirt with Sourface and she already thinks you're a homewrecker. Why not get her jealous enough to cause a scene? OP, you are killing me here. And for what? Goodfella, Queenie can't handle it. She'll confront Sourface and we'll record the whole thing. That's our evidence. That's for what for? OP says, but why me? Can you just, pay a girl to flirt with him? Just because Queenie thinks I'm a homewrecker doesn't mean that I should be the one to do it. Maybe the girl could be really pretty or something. Goodfella, pinching the bridge of his nose. Dizzy, if I do that, then it seems like Sourface is acting up and playing Queenie's game. OP, so I'm the more believable option. Wouldn't that just make everybody think that I'm a psycho? I basically told everybody what he did, and I 100% did not like it. Goodfella, that does complicate things. How about we start by making friends with him and say he's a better friend than Artlad, and by we, I mean you. OP, yeah, I'm starting to regret this. Goodfella, don't worry, I'll be by your side. We just need him to act weird around you and in front of Queenie so that we can get what we need. OP, do you really think this is worth it? I clearly know both Queenie and Sourface can be dicks, but you don't have to make up a whole story just for me to get back at them. Goodfella, I know it sounds off, but it's 3 of us getting college money at the same time. My share, however, only covers books. I have to pay my own tuition fees. In fact, I'm sure Sourface has the bigger share, despite Queenie being the stepdaughter of my uncle. Again, weird gender roles and all that. What a tangled web we weave indeed. OP says, so he's the one at most risk, and that still doesn't change my no to a yes. Goodfella, look, I'm just done with their bullshit. If messing with their college fund is finally gonna get me some peace, then so be it. What's an extra $400 anyway? I'm willing to go into debt if it means no contact. I mean, $400 is $400. We're not gonna turn our nose up at that, are we? Before I could answer, we heard a knock on the door, but as soon as I turned, my heart sunk. I still remember how the study room looked. And one thing about these study rooms is that they have those 3 squared windows that stretch from top to bottom on the door so you can clearly see who's inside from very far away. And who I saw outside was none other than Sourface. With a great "now what" from Goodfella, he gets up and opens the door. Goodfella, what do you want, Sourface? Can't you see I'm in the middle of something? The one thing I'm thankful for is that you have to press your face against the door in order to hear inside the room, but you can't hide the fact that you are listening in because, you know, the big-ass windows. Sourface, I just wanted to know if Queenie was in here, but all I see is some F slur and a B word talking. Goodfella, why would Queenie be near me? She freaking hates me. Sourface, not enough for you to let her stay at your place. You're lying to me, a-hole. But I guess that's what I get for being such an alpha male. OP, alpha male? You? An alpha? Please, dude, alpha males don't go around claiming their alphaness. It's like saying you're an amazing singer, but refusing to go to a karaoke bar. Sourface, whatever, bitch. You'll never understand what it means to be an alpha male. It's not like you'll ever give him a chance. You're always going after the bad guys. Yeah, your logic's a little ass backwards, but I don't have time to explain it right now. Could you just leave? Goodfella, did you come here just to complain and cry, or are you just here to give me a hard time? Also, what the hell do you mean staying in my place? Sourface, Queenie's mom called our mom, asking if she's staying with us, since she hasn't come home for weeks now. And since Mom said no, Auntie started getting worried since she wasn't picking up her phone. And Mom rang her and she said she was living with you, since you live closer to the campus. Goodfella, what the No, she's lying. She's not staying with me. I bet money she's staying with one of her friends. Sourface, listen here, Gaylord. As the alpha male of this family, it's my job to keep you two in line. And as the alpha male, I order you to get Queenie to talk to me. Yes, very alpha male to cry publicly. She's not answering my text, and all I get is a screw you from her when she does. I cringed when he said that. It's more how he said it rather than what he said. I still remember him trying to growl his words, or at least sound intimidating. Remember, both Goodfella and Sourface are the same height, but Sourface was way heavier than Goodfella, like twice the girth. Goodfella just rolled his eyes and said, honey, no offense. Wait, no, actually all the offense, but you are not scary enough to push me around anymore. Plus your alpha outfit screams, Mommy dressed me this morning. So goodbye. Before Sourface could say anything, Goodfella just shuts the door and locks it before sitting back down. Sourface just keeps slam pounding. I don't know if that's the right term. It does get the message across, though. The door, before getting yelled at by one of the library staff who told him to leave. Soon as he does, I get an idea. OP, dude, did you hear what he said? Goodfella, yeah, I heard. I'm not stupid. OP, well, think about it. If Queenie's not answering her calls or texts from Sourface, and Art Lad is also avoiding her, Goodfella, I'm listening. OP, we can use that to our benefit. Goodfella, how? OP, by us playing Messenger Boy. Duh. But instead of actually getting them to cool down, Goodfella, we could give them false hope by acting like Art Lad wants Queenie and Queenie wants to talk to Sourface. OP, we can have them all play right into our hands. Goodfella, so what you're saying is We play into their needs and have them blow out thinking they all played each other? OP. Bingo. Goodfella. Alright. Well, I think I know how and where to start. This is like some next level social engineering that really only a gay guy and a woman could come up with. It might seem insensitive to say that, but deep down you know it's true. You know it's true. So the plan was that me, OP, the idiot whose spine did shine through but still needed to learn better boundaries, should be the one to talk to both Queenie and Sourface. Wow, how'd you get loaded up with the worst tasks? The idea was that I would talk to Queenie as if I was sorry and actually help her to get her man, while I also talked to Sourface as if I was going to help him get back with Queenie. Well, what about Artlad, you might ask? The thing is, I was never going to tell Artlad anything. My reasons for this are 1, to not ruin the plan just from him saying it out loud, and 2, unlike him, I didn't need somebody else to do my dirty work. That's right, we're getting deep into the mud on this one. So Goodfella and I agreed to pretend to not be friends and meet up in secret so he could get all the details. I know this sounds ridiculous, but it was mostly us just acting like mean girls and wanting 2 horrible people out of our lives. Yeah, I'm sure somebody would be sad about it, but not me, so what's it matter? The first part of the plan was for me to go to Queenie and say I was sorry and try to convince her that I was willing to help her to become Artlad's girlfriend. The other part was easy because I haven't transitioned yet, so I could play into the whole, I'm a girl and my stupid girl hormones just wanted peace with my fellow girl. A man like you shouldn't be played, that type of stuff. And I do want to puke just typing it, to be clear. Now, I needed to find Queenie and start acting according to the plan. In my journal, I wrote down how I hated myself for doing this, but at the same time, I was channeling my anger toward both Queenie and Sourface, while hoping this entire thing would work. Then I would be at peace and just continue on with my schooling without any trouble. Yeah, maybe. Goodfella said that he would help me in locating them both and send me a text regarding their location. I went home that day and for the first time in weeks came home smiling, and my cousin Cheeky did notice. I didn't tell her my plan. All I said was that I fixed my problem, but I got a text from Best Bro asking if everything was alright. That conversation's not that important to tell, but what I will note here is Best Bro not hearing from Artlad and me saying I haven't talked to him since the park meetup. Well, Best Bro went to check on him. From what he told me, Artlad asked his professors to give him work for the next week to do at home because he had, quote, a family emergency, i.e. trying to get away from Queenie. I was also told that he wasn't looking too good neither. Dear reader, at that moment was the first time that I did not feel bad. As a matter of fact, I felt outright anger towards him. Even years later, whenever I think about that, I couldn't bring myself to feel the least bit sad or sorry for him. He was a friend, and back then I felt horrible for not understanding or being empathetic for him, but now I know why. We just hadn't had the falling out quite yet. I also felt that Goodfella was being a better friend than him, but I couldn't quite yet see the red flags of this dude. Uh-oh, he's not a good fella after all. Well, I mean, he is using another person for his means. Anybody who's trying to use people as pawns, generally not so great. That's why I say, no gods, no masters. Fuck you, I'm doing this my way.
I am nobody's master, got it? I don't want you here, and I don't want you here.
Anyway, before I continue, I want to describe how Goodfella made me feel safe around him, and with everything that's been going on and my unhealed past, I really did put on some rose-tinted glasses around him. To start, Goodfella was the total opposite of Sourface. He was more caring and respected my boundaries of personal space and wasn't going out and airing all of my secrets. He listened to my troubles and seemed to be the shoulder that I needed. And this is the only spoiler that I'll give. I did stay friends with him after this whole shit show. He even helped me with my second puberty pains. Safe to say, just because you learn to stand up for yourself doesn't mean you'll recognize the toxicity upon which you need to put your foot down. I also wanted to add that I'm not good with making friends, and at the time I really only had Best Bro, his girlfriend, and Art Lad as my friends, but they were busy with their own lives. And on top of that, Best Bro was already dealing with Art Lad, and yeah, I just didn't want to add more into the mix. It wasn't fair to Best Bro. For me, making a new friend's a huge deal. I tend to either overlook or not realize their toxic traits a lot of times. My mother once said that I have a heart of gold, but the mind of a blind person, meaning that, I don't really see what's in front of me when it comes to being trusting of my friends. Sorry for the info dump. We'll get back to the story. Well, gosh, you're really painting Goodfella as a shitheel. I was gonna switch his voice from the beard voice to something a bit more fitting, but yeah, the beard voice is still fitting, apparently. I guess OP is just like the Dale Gribble of this college universe. Just, okay, you're my friend, I trust you completely now. And it's not always the way to go, as I said in the last part. Goodfella figured out where Queenie was staying, and it turns out that Bon Bon lives nearby where Art Lad was living. Now, this area was common for students to rent out during their time at community college, and it was where a lot of students got their jobs, and it was the location of a very popular shopping plaza, so this means that, yeah, she was 100% stalking Art Lad. However, I didn't know if Art Lad had a job, or was just living off student aid, but whatever the case, I asked for Queenie's number, and Goodfella happily obliged, and I started texting her. FYI, I'll be adding my thoughts throughout the conversation just to give an idea about how manipulative I've become at this point. Don't be afraid to call me out because I know that I wasn't in the right. I mean, these type of stories are rarely black and white, you know? If somebody's blackmailing you for this or that, sometimes you do have to play dirty. Again, bringing to mind the Stealthbeard saga, at least you didn't roofie anybody. You sent some misleading text messages. I think probably it's okay. Of course, that depends on your own personal moral compass, but yeah, on mine, I'm pretty sure it's okay. OP says, "Hey, Queenie, it's me, Dizzy. You got a minute to talk?" Queenie, "How the hell did you get my number?" OP, Art Lad gave it to me. Look, I wanted to say sorry for how I acted, and maybe I was a homewrecker. Am I a good liar or what? Sarcasm. I mean, you're playing into her own delusion. Of course she'll believe it. Queenie, "No shit, you're a homewrecker! What, were you trying to date Art Lad this whole time?" OP, "No, I swear it wasn't like that, but I was helping him to avoid you." Lies, all lies. Queenie, "So what? You expect me to forgive you like nothing happened?" OP, "No, not really. But I do want to make it up to you. Cue up the ass kissing. I mean, how much ass kissing do you really gotta do, you know? Bring her a box of Little Debbie's, she's good to go. You give a watermelon to a hippopotamus, he'll be your best friend for life. I don't know if that's true." Queenie says, "How can you make it up to me?" And OP says, "Remember during the whole club rush thing, and I noticed that you had a thing for Art Lad?" Queenie, "Yeah, but that was before you decided to screw me over." OP, "Well, I just found out that Art Lad was using me as a placeholder until he found the girl of his dreams, even though he was insistent that we were just friends, right?" Queenie, "Yeah, so?" OP, "Well, he told me about his dream girl, and I'm gonna help you become that girl. Please take the bait. Please take the bait. Please take the bait." She's gonna take the bait. Don't you worry, OP. You know her Achilles heel. It's just that easy sometimes. Queenie, "Really? You mean it? You're not gonna screw me over, right?" OP, "Me? Oh, never. I've been thinking also maybe I could learn a thing or two about being a real woman from you." I hate myself. I hate myself so much right now. "Yeah, but you're playing the role beautifully. Just grin and bear it." Queenie, "About time. I haven't forgiven you, but if you're willing to help me become your friend's girlfriend, then I'll let it slide." Yes, 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 I got her. Hook, line, and sinker. OP says, "Thanks, Queenie. However, I still can't return to the club. Not yet, at least." Queenie, "Why not? Is it because I haven't forgiven you?" OP, It's more of letting you heal from my betrayal. But you're setting up the betrayal. You're just watering the seeds of hope with plans of ripping the crop out by the root. Yeah, but sometimes it feels good. That's good eats. Queenie says, "You're right. I do need to heal, but I'll heal faster if I have my art lad." OP, and you will. Just let me help, okay? Am I a bad person here? Am I really playing with a woman's fantasies just to stop the BS? Yes, I am. Doing it the hard way instead of just, I don't know, ignoring them. I mean, that would have been the mature path to take, but sometimes, especially in our younger years, we don't always take the mature path. You should extend your younger self a little bit of grace. Queenie, you better. Our lad'll be my boyfriend. So what was the first thing that he likes? OP, give me a minute. Or do you want to meet up and I could just give you a list of things he likes in a girl? Does he even have a type? What does he like outside of Bob's and Vagine? Queenie, well, what do you think is best? At this moment, I was also texting Goodfella asking what to do next. OP, dude, I got her, but I don't know what to do next. I said that I know what type of girl he likes, and now she's asking about that. Yeah, obviously, I didn't think this through. Goodfella, just make up a list of traits. You know Art Lad better than me. OP, I told her to give me a minute, or if she wants, we can meet up, and I'd give her a full list, and she's asking me what I think is best. Goodfella, oh my god. Wait, actually, have her meet up with you. I have an idea. I could use this for Sourface. OP, how? Goodfella, just trust me. OP, fine. Back to Queenie. OP says, I think it's best for us to meet up. It gives me time to get all the things that he likes. Wait, how am I not a mean girl again? Whatever, I can't sit around and explain that shit to you. How am I not a mean girl? You know what I mean? It's fine. We all have a little bit of that in us. Sometimes it's fun to sit around and be catty. What? Queenie says, thank you. I can't wait to fall into Art Lad's strong arms. Yeah, I'm praying for his safety. OP says, anytime. And now back to Goodfella. OP says, okay, I'm in. She's meeting up with me. Goodfella, good. Now do you mind skipping class tomorrow? I got some ideas. OP, come to think of it, it's just a project for the whole week. Most don't even show up since there's no lecture. The only thing that's being graded is the project itself, so yeah, I could skip it. Goodfella, nice. We're meeting up in the morning. OP, coffee on me? Goodfella, hell yeah. Bro, I'm not buying coffee for the guy with the fucking rich uncle. Coffee on you. After that, my heart racing, I felt a mixture of awfulness, shame, guilt, and worst of all, excitement. Again, I was not in the best place mentally, but it was the tip of the iceberg, and I can't understand why this was giving me such a dopamine rush. Because sometimes destroying our lives and the people around us can be fun.
Nah, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that. What am I, a monster? But you did smile though, didn't you?
If you're a sadist. However, my time with Goodfella wasn't during this drama. This saga is just about Queenie, Sourface, and Art Lad. My college days were a trip, and yeah, not the good kind. I got like 2 years worth of stories, and this is just the start, but this saga is almost coming to an end. If you're asking, Dizzy, are you sure that Goodfella is toxic to you? Why would you keep digging yourself into this mess? Is this real? And to that I say, yes, this is real. And no, I'm no good at storytelling or making things up. Okay, but you gotta stop telling me that it's real because I believe the opposite of what people tell me, you know? I think I said that before. OP says, I don't know why I kept digging myself into this mess, to be honest. Maybe I was viewing Goodfella as a friend and his toxic traits weren't on full display. I don't know if you believe this tale, but I lived it. I think I'm asking this question because writing it and looking back, I do hardly believe it. And I lived it. Now, did I go back to the club? Well, yes, I did, but not as an official member. and most of my time helping Queenie was just me in the club, but I am getting ahead of myself here. So, after talking to Goodfella and Queenie about where to meet up and all that, I couldn't stop thinking about what the hell I was even doing. But at the time, a part of me did want Goodfella to be my friend. We did agree to never see each other after this mess, but he did treat me like a good friend. Or I guess I took it as such, just because I felt alone, starting college in a new city, living with my cousin, going through the growing pains of adulthood, while going through the realization that I wasn't happy with my gender, and having a friend just telling your story of your past. Yeah, I wanted to be a friend with the brother of the guy who knows my past trauma, I guess. I latched on to the next person who was nice to me, but I was in denial. I didn't think twice, so I agreed to meet up with Goodfella. I could sort of see it from your perspective. But just because you've been betrayed by one person doesn't mean another person's gonna make it all right. That's a lesson hard learned. So Goodfella says, "Hey Dizzy, you ready to fuck with Queenie's Hope?" OP, "Yeah, good morning, Goodfella. I just wanted to ask, how long can we keep this up?" Goodfella, "What do you mean?" OP, "What if Queenie and or Sourface finds out? And how is me giving the traits of a girl that supposedly Art Lad is into supposed to even help with Sourface?" Goodfella, "Well, that's why we're here. I'll explain everything, but what time did you set for your meeting with Queenie?" OP, "We're supposed to meet in the afternoon." Goodfella, "Alright, good. Then we have time." So we sat in the main area of the campus, and since this area is mostly empty in the morning, he thought it was safe. OP, "So what is this idea that you have?" Goodfella, "Since you got Queenie with the promise of making her Art Lad's girlfriend, I thought I should piggyback from that for Sourface, but with the idea of Queenie regretting falling for Art Lad." OP, "Okay, I see. How are you gonna do that?" Goodfella, "I'm not gonna do it." OP, "You're kidding, right?" Goodfella stays quiet while smiling. OP, "Dude, I'm already in over my head with Queenie. Why should I be the one to puppeteer his hope as well?" Goodfella, "Because if I do it, then they'll think that something's up. Plus, since I've already told Sourface you and me only met up for that day for a class we had, it'd just be best that you be the one to do it. They know me too well." OP, "I don't want to be near Sourface. Why is that so hard for you to understand?" Goodfella, I get it. But he'll listen to you if you play up the whole, "Oh, sorry about being mean. I'm just a stupid girl with stupid hormones," because, he's so deep in with his alpha male bull. OP, "Even if I play it up, wouldn't that make it easier for me to slip up?" Goodfella, "That's what I'm here for. I'll be with you while they're texting you, making sure they don't cross paths, and we'll make sure we get the evidence of, their relationship." OP, sighing while facepalming, "Is this going to take weeks?" Goodfella, "I doubt it. All we need is for Sourface to make a move on Queenie." OP, "How are we going?" Goodfella, "You're gonna help with Sourface and try and make him more like Art Lad. You know his traits. You could help out with that." OP, "Oh, okay, but still." Goodfella, "Don't worry. I'll be within a few yards if anything happens when you and Sourface meet in person, just not close enough to be spotted." OP, "This is getting really weird, I swear, but for some reason," Goodfella, "you're getting some kind of rush from it." OP, "Just wanting to see if it's true that they'll be gone after we expose them." Goodfella, "Just one little pick, I promise." OP, "But Goodfella, there's something that I'm going through that kind of makes it harder to, I guess, continue being a girl." Goodfella raises an eyebrow and says, "Go on." OP, "You came out, right? So you're the only one that I guess might understand something like this." Taking a deep breath, "I think I'm trans." Goodfella, leaning back in his seat and taking a deep breath, "I'm not shocked, but are you planning on transitioning soon?" OP, "To be honest, I don't even have the money right now, but I do want to socially transition in the meantime. Will that affect our plan?" Goodfella thinks for a bit and then says, "No, not really. In fact, we play around the fact that he'll try to save you, since girls never understand what they want in life and need a man to help them, right? You know, that whole I'm a nice guy alpha who can treat a girl right and blah, blah, blah. All that old bullcrap. OP, you're fucking evil, you know that? Almost as if you thought this through for some time now. Like you really want your brother to suffer. Goodfella, you're acting like we had a good childhood. Plus, he's not that hard to predict his behavior. It's all he talks about anyway. OP, so how am I gonna do this with Sourface? Goodfella, I know he and Artlad text each other time to time. I'll give you his number, and you say Artlad gave it to you, and act like you want to help him by being more like Artlad. You could lie by saying, if you act like Artlad, girls will be falling into your arms, and if you refuse, then you miss the chance to make Queenie regret everything. What do you think of that? OP, you owe me big time, Goodfella, and you better not go back on your word. I'm risking everything for this, alright? Goodfella, I know you are. You have my word. That's right, word is bond, son. Maybe. I don't really know this guy that well, actually. So once again, we shake on all that, and when to make the list of traits for Queenie, they were out there, and some of the things were just, like, what the fuck? Oh, come on, how weird could the list possibly be? I like a man with a long torso. I like a man whose fingernails aren't dirty. I don't know, I'm spitballing here. OP says, thank you for reading. I know this is a slow burn, but it was the first month of my first year in college, and you don't really do much as a community college student until your second semester. The next tale is once again me listing events of what happened, and Goodfella being, well, Goodfella. Happy late Halloween if you celebrate the holiday, and happy late Thanksgiving for that matter. Anyway, drink lots of fluids, not Mountain Dew, and with peace and love, Dizzy out. Yeah, I think Goodfella must be a Libra. He's throwing me off balance a little bit. Is he a good guy? Is he not? I really don't think he is, to drag somebody else into this. He points the finger and say, they're the ones that always drag people into the shit pile, but no, I think you're doing exactly the same thing. I think he's much more like his brother than he would care to admit, as OP has foreshadowed a little bit in this story, but I suppose all will be unveiled eventually. I don't know if we'll get a Goodfella saga, or if it's just Sourface and Queenie and Artlad all getting taken down, but either way, I'm in it for some vengeance, you know? That's always a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Maybe sign up on the Patreon. Maybe sign up on the YouTube memberships. You could even do both at once if you're a true mad lad. Consistent money every month really does help us out, and I'm very appreciative. You can also check out the Fourth Wall if you were so inclined. We got all kinds of merch over there. But if you don't got cash to splash around, that's okay, you know. I'm just happy that you were here. I hope maybe you'll share the video around if you know somebody that would enjoy it. But most importantly, friends, I hope that you remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
何バカ何バカ何バカ何バカ何バカ